The 845th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. You can claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs.
Hi-ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 845 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Lily Wu, one of our friends in the YouTube channel. Lily is normally a female name, so it's I'm intrigued now that we may perhaps have a female listener. If not, I apologize for misgendering you, Lily Wu. Thanks for following the channel anyhow. I'm one of your hosts. You can call me Jeff Fox, but people nowadays call me Kaiser Del Busto because that's a much funner name, and I stole that person's identity. As you can see by the episode title, this is going to be an episode where I excel because it's UFC, baby, and I should really change my name to how many dollars I'm up on the UFC every year. I am up $802.72, so that should be my new name. But anyhow, UFC Atlanta, it's going down. Not too bad of a fight card, actually. When I was doing the prep work for it, I'm like, hey, this card's not so bad. Let's see what my co-host says. Last time I thought a card was decent, he thought it was bad, which is very strange. Let's see if it's bad cop, good cop again. Hello, Daniel Gumby Vreeland.
I'm going to say it's mostly good. Here's my issue with it. Okay. I really like the top of the card, right? Both the main event and the co-main event have like good purpose behind it,
yes,
right?
Makes sense.
The third from the top fight is at the very least fun and possibly meaningful.
Yep.
Then there's a lot of like, hey, we really got to get this guy over fights. Like I'm seeing I saw odds higher than literally any odd ever in the history of the UFC for this fight card. We've got negative 2,500 in a fight.
Really? I'm going to give it to you for minus 1,600. So
yeah, it is ballooned.
I got a deal for you.
That. Yeah, it's or maybe some books are still offering that, but I've seen it as high as negative 2,500, which is the worst number anybody has ever had next to their name. So like, it's clearly a let's get this guy over moment. And like that to me kind of sucks a little bit. I'd rather see fights that are at least a little closer and at least test those guys. Yeah,
that is true. See, Gumby's a bad cop again. I'm the good cop. Maybe we've switched identities. I'm going to pull off my mask and I'm going to be Dana White after all this time, like a Scooby-Doo type thing at the end. It wasn't Gumby. Gumby wasn't the villain. I was all along. All right, so this is UFC Fight Night. Usman versus Buckley that we're going to be talking about. We should probably dive right into it because they like to jam pack their prelims with a whole bunch of fights. And today is all about the prelims. Before we dive into the jam pack card, reminder, you can get all our free picks and podcasts for the Stanley Cup, college baseball, and World Series and NBA finals over on our app, the SGPN app. Get it wherever you get your apps. Maybe not World Series. Oh, college baseball, World Series. Sorry, there's not a comma between there. I was thinking the World Series isn't on yet. No. So basically, you can get all our shows, all our picks, all the good stuff. SGPN. Make sure you search for it in the old app store. Yeah, I thought for a moment we had time travel, Gumby, and it was October, but no. All right, UFC Fight Night, Usman versus Buckley. We're not talking about those gentlemen today, though. We'll talk about them tomorrow. This is taking place this Saturday, as per usual, for the UFC. Atlanta, Georgia is getting the fight card. 7 p.m. start time for the prelims, which is what today is all about. They are on ESPN Plus. If you're in the area, I think actually someone in the Discord is going. Are they not? At least one person. I think someone was talking about going.
Yeah, there was somebody. I can't remember who lives near Atlanta.
Yeah.
Our guy MMA Upside does.
Oh, MMA Upside, who wants me to dedicate a show to him. Rule number 1 is you don't ask for a show dedicated to you. And rule number 2 is I've dedicated, I think, multiple shows to him. Have I not?
I think so.
Yeah, at least one. So, and yeah, I still love MMA Upside. So, is he a Braves fan too?
Yeah, he's a Braves fan.
Okay. Yeah. There's someone in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. At least one person there is going to the event because they were asking. I remember about the VIP packages and all that stuff. But sorry, all you people are just one big blur to me. Except for Vinizzi, who keeps changing his name like I do. I take notice on that. So Atlanta, Georgia, State Farm Arena. Get in there with the rest of our Discorders. 13 bouts. We're covering 7 today, I think, right? 7 and 6, I think, is the breakdown.
Yep.
And as per usual, we're kicking things off with a female fight because that's how the UFC does it. Actually, they have a female fight up near the top too this week. This is a flyweight belt, Vanessa Demopoulos, who has the Greek flag beside her, but I think she's born and raised in the United States, as far as I remember. Jamey-Lyn Horth from the Great White North, Canada. let's break her down. 125. Demopoulos, Lil Monster, 11-7, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. She's been submitted 1 time. That means she's durable. She's taking this fight on short notice. Longtime listeners and or viewers know that is not a good thing to winning fights. She's 5-4 in the UFC. She's lasted a lot longer in the UFC than I would have predicted out of the gate. So good on her. She's lost 2 straight though, and gone 2-3 over her last 5. Used to fight at 115, missed weight before at 115. She went 0-1 in Contender Series. She was the LFA champ. She was the inaugural LFA strawweight champion. There's a little bit of trivia for you. More active landing strikes than Horth, but she has been outstruck, and she tends to bleed when she gets outstruck. She's at minus 1.74. Here are some of the odds that Gumby was talking about. Plus 440. Another, but we got some quite wide lines here. Horth, 7-2, 3 knockouts, 2 submissions, never been finished in a fight. She's durable as well. 2-2 in the UFC, loss over her last 3. She was an LFA champion as well. Also a regional champion. Used to fight at 135. 5 inches height, 7 inches of reach. 2 years younger than Demopoulos. All those well in her favor. Better striking stats, better grappling stats than Demopoulos. She's outstruck her opponents by 0.14 strikes per minute, minus 500. Poor Vanessa, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jamey-Lyn Horth, obviously, in this one. You know, for me, the big piece is the range and the physicality, right? Because Demopoulos, she's taking this on short notice, which is why it's up at flyweight. She doesn't belong at flyweight. You know, she's already kind of small anyway at strawweight. Like, she's not a particularly big strawweight. And, like, Jamey-Lyn Horth has held her own at bantamweight, right? Like, she's gone up to bantamweight a couple of times and looked pretty good there. You know, in her physicality plays at that level, which, you know, when you look at Demopoulos too, what are her paths to victory? Her paths to victory are to take the fight to the ground and wind up with a submission, right? Yeah. And unless Jamey-Lyn Horth decides it's going there, it ain't going there, right? And then you're like, okay, well, maybe she'll be faster because she's smaller. Yeah, but that's true. But she's got to work onto the inside of somebody who's got so much reach advantage on her. And even then, if she does that, she might find herself in a clinch and just pinched against the cage and eating knees to the body. So, yeah, I like Jamey-Lyn Horth here. How excited I'm going to get about a line on Jamey-Lyn Horth at negative 500. Probably not too excited. But, yeah, that's who I'm going to take in this one.
I was thinking about her via decision, but that's still like minus two something.
And I think she could probably finish her too. Yeah, like, she's got a lot of finishes in her career, right? She's got 7 wins and 5 finishes.
Yeah.
And she's fighting somebody way smaller than her, you know, who might just be comfortable on her back if she got taken down. You might see a ground and pound finish. Like, maybe if you're trying to find a way to make this interesting in some way, shape, or form in terms of betting.
Because you're a degenerate and you have to bet.
You're here with me listening to this crap on a Wednesday night. Maybe Jamey-Lyn Horth by TKO is kind of interesting. That would be probably the only thing I would like maybe sprinkle on.
Yeah, she's just, as Gumby said, just way too big. The things against Demopoulos, against any opponent, basically, is she's not super athletic. Like, she's not a natural athlete, and the size issue. So,
it's the physicality, even at strawweight, is not good.
Yeah, she can out tough people, but Jamey-Lyn Horth is pretty tough as well. So, I see her getting a beating here. Sadly, because she's a nice character. Hopefully, she does get to stick around, but who's to say? Because Contender Series is coming down, which means people are going to get.
I haven't seen a lot of lady bookings on Contender Series, though. I think I've only seen 1 so far. Okay. So, like, maybe some of the ladies have their jobs a little definitely safer than like featherweights right now.
Featherweight, all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to the men's side. We're going way up to welterweight. Phil Rowe, he's from the United States. Ange Loosa, he's not from the United States. He is from Switzerland. They're fighting at 3 5-minute rounds. This could be a loser leaves town match. Maybe, it could be a loser leaves town match. Rowe is the Fresh Prince, 10-5, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. So he's finished everyone. He's been knocked out once, 3-3 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight fights, though, and gone 3-2 over his last 5. He's not fought in over a year, June 2024, or about a year. Has not won since December 2022. That is a long stretch. He's missed weight twice at 170, so another...
he's a big old 170.
Yeah, so it's something to keep in mind. Fighters that miss weight tend to lose. So if you do want to bet this and bet him, you may want to wait till the weigh-ins Friday. He went 1-0 Contender Series. He used to fight at 155 somehow, which is crazy. 2014 Pro MMA debut. He's got 5 inches height, 6 inches of reach over Loosa. That's why it's crazy that he used to be a lightweight. Better striking stats than Loosa. He has been outstruck, though, by 0.69. Nice, 69. Plus 120. Loosa, the last ninja, 10-4 with 1 no contest, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's never been finished in a fight. 2-2 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 2-1 with 1 no contest over his last 4. 4-4 with 1 no contest over his last 9. So a couple of mediocre fighters, basically, or average fighters. We'll say that's nicer. Average. He did lose his last fight. He went 0-1 in Contender Series. Who beat him on Contender Series?
Jack down Atlanta.
There you go. No shame in that loss. 2013 pro MMA debut. 3 years younger than Rowe. More active landing strikes than Rowe. Better grappling stats than Rowe. He also has been outstruck, even by a worse number than Rowe. He's been outstruck by 1.08 strikes per minute, minus 130. Despite the long layoff, despite the losing streak, I'm taking Phil Rowe as a dog here. The catnip, better striker, way more bigger.
Way more bigger.
Way more bigger. There you go. That's the even more simple of a breakdown. He's way more bigger, ladies and gentlemen. He's a better striker as well. You know, I always tend to pick the strikers in these fights. Not that Loosa is amazing at anything really. So I think Rowe, Loosa's going to have, as Gumby said, like in the first fight, he's going to have a hard time getting inside range to work any kind of grappling if you wanted to work that against Rowe. And I think Rowe's definitely got the finishing ability to take care of Loosa. So give me the dog.
I actually think Rowe looks better in the grappling too. I'm going to take Phil Rowe as well. I like Phil Rowe from a grappling perspective here. He's got really good jiu-jitsu skills, first of all. And then second of all, I went back and I watched this fight with Neil Magny, which he lost by split decision, which is worth pointing out that like he had a split decision with Neil Magny here. Like that's a really, you know, not that any loss is good. That's a really good loss. And he largely took the round he took by pinning Magny up against the cage. You know, so like anytime they were in a clinch position, it was Rowe with the upper hand. And for me, like if that's how you're winning a fight with Neil Magny, like you're a gritty dude, right? Like, and you know, if that's what Ange Loosa wants in this fight, right? Because he doesn't want to strike from range, that's going to go badly for him. And really, you know, Phil only lost that fight because Neil Magny was a lot longer than him and the jab was working. He's going to have that on his side here. Even if Loosa is a little bit quicker, even if Loosa is trying to close the distance, I think once he gets on the inside, he's not going to like what he sees in there. So yeah, Phil Rowe, I mean, 5 inches of height, 7 inches of reach. That's going to be a huge piece in the striking game. And then, you know, I do think he's more physical. Also, just to buck one of your trends too here, you said guys who miss weight tend to lose. Yeah. Both times he's missed weight, he's won and finished his fight.
There you go. He's a bully. He's a size bully.
So yeah, I mean, like I don't know if he's not one of those not trying to miss or, you know, I'd have to go back and look at the numbers and look at how sucked out he looks and stuff like that. But like, you know, he's still winning when he misses weight, which is kind of a rarity. And he's beating the people up when he does.
Yep. All right, good. I'm glad we're both in on Mr. Fresh Prince Phil Rowe. All right, we're also both in on Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the first ever bet account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. So sign up today at edgeboost.bet with our promo code SGPN. And it's the very last week to sign up and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs, REFS, to claim your free shirt. And Circa Time, Circa's ultimate fantasy football giveaway is ongoing for another couple weeks. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. You'll get a limo ride from this airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. And if you can't do that or can't make it there or don't want to do that or don't win, you can always get 15% off at all the Circa properties with our promo code SGP15. Enter the ultimate fantasy football contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Moving right along. This is the fight. No, this isn't the fight with the big odds. There's another one coming up.
This has got pretty big odds too.
Yep, it does as well. It is a bantamweight fight. Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman, who we've talked about many times on the show. We'll talk about him first here. The Smotherman is the babyface killer, 12-5, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice. He's stepping in here on short notice, like a week's notice, perhaps. Maybe
I think
less than that, or he knew before.
I think it's a little bit more than a week, if I'm remembering correctly. I think he's probably known. I think he's probably known for like almost 2 weeks.
Okay. 1-1 in the UFC for Smotherman, 4-1 over his last 5, 8-2 over his last 10. Consistent. He did lose his last fight. 0-1 Contender Series. So the question is, who beat him, Gumby?
Charalampros Gregoru.
Yep. He's a regional champ. Smotherman, 3 inches taller than Simón, 5 years younger, more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC and the Contender Series by 0.97 strikes per minute. He's at plus 350. Ricky Simón is 21-6, 7 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 9-5 in the UFC, 1-3 over his last 4, 6-3 over his last 9. That sounds better. KO win in his last bout. Used to fight at 145. He was the LFA champ. 1-0 on Contender Series. 2014 Pro MMA debut. Better striking stats, better grappling stats than Smotherman. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.89 strikes per minute, minus 450. Yikes. What do you think this line would be if it was not short notice?
Pretty close to the same thing, maybe negative 350. And I really like Smotherman. You know, obviously he stepped up on short notice and beat Jake Hadley, and that surprised a lot of us as well. And like, you know, props to him for the way that he won that fight. But he's got 2 things working against him here. The first one being that his takedown defense hasn't always held up. If you go back to some of his older fights, or, you know, even Jake Hadley got him down once, you know, and that's Jake Hadley coming up a weight class. You know, his wrestling hasn't always held up. And Ricky Simón is definitely the type of person who would exploit the hell out of that. The second thing is he's kind of got a history of being knocked out really viciously. In fact, he told me that he didn't ever think he was going to get a shot in the UFC because he had been badly knocked out on Dana White's Looking for a Fight in like 13 seconds, and then badly knocked out in a minute on Dana White's Contender Series. So with the boss in attendance, he had lost 2 fights in like a minute and 13 seconds and been brutally knocked out in both of them. And what has Ricky Simón been doing lately is uncorking a mean right hand to put you to sleep.
Old man strength, I tell you.
He's kind of always had it, though. You know, like if you go back, you'll see more fights where he's had that. And like maybe he's relying on it more now than he used to. But like, look, I think he can get the wrestling going. I think he can get the knockout. There's lots to like about Ricky Simón here. So yeah, I'm going to take him.
Yep. As am I, obviously. Simón checks all the boxes for this fight. And it's too bad because we do like Smotherman. He's a friend of your other show, Top Turtle, but hopefully he gets another crack after getting cracked in this one. We're going down now 1 weight class. We're going down to flyweight. Cody Durden, United States of America. Jose Ochoa. He is from Ochoa. He's from Peru. Were you going to say something, Gumby?
I said Jose Ochoa.
Jose.
Jose is Brazilian. Jose is the Spanish-speaking countries.
Yes. He's Peruvian. I didn't say Mexico for a change, so that's good. Cody Durden is custom made. 17-7-1, 6 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. 6-5-1 in the UFC, 1-3 over his last 4, 5-3 over his last 8. He did lose his last bout. Used to fight at 135. He was a regional champ. He went 4-0 as a pro boxer. More active landing strikes in Ochoa. He has been outstruck, though, in the UFC by 0.77 strikes per minute. He's at plus 160. Ochoa is Calfizer. 7-1, 1 no contest, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. So he's finished everyone. He himself has never been finished. 0-1 in the UFC. He's 9 years younger than Durden. He's been outstruck, but just barely in the UFC by 0.07 strikes per minute. He's at minus 185.
This is you?
This is you, me.
Definitely you.
Definitely me. Keep me the younger, better striker, Ochoa, in this fight. Durden has burned me before, though, so I can't totally be 100% behind this pick. But I think Ochoa, he's just so much younger, and he's going to be a better striker than Durden. I don't know the wrestling. Maybe Gummy would be like, oh, you can't wrestle, though. So give me Ochoa. We'll see what Gummy says.
No, I'm actually going to say the exact opposite. You know, I think Cody Durden early in the week was everybody was like, hey, is everybody in on Durden as an underdog? And, you know, I got DMs in Twitter and Instagram, and I had people hitting me up in the Discord, and I was like, you know, I really, and I think I said it to just about everybody who asked, I really have to go back and make sure that Ochoa can wrestle. Because if Ochoa can wrestle, this is a nightmare matchup for Cody Durden, right? Like Cody Durden is not going to win this fight if he doesn't get a bunch of takedowns and 10 minutes of control time. And when I went back and watched, like, you know, Ochoa stuffed the only takedown attempt from Lanier Kavanaugh. And by the way, he stayed standing in striking with Lanier Kavanaugh and didn't get outstruck by all that much, you know, like, which is kind of crazy because spending 15 minutes on the feet with Lanier Kavanaugh is already a hell of a feat. You know, like hot prospects who we really like weren't able to go 15 minutes with him. So, you know, like that's the first thing. Love the striking. And then I went back and I watched his wrestling in his very last fight prior. You know, the guy he was fighting, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, trying to get him down to the ground the whole time. And what he did was, first of all, he stuffed those takedowns. And second of all, he's actually got a really sick jiu-jitsu game when it comes to front headlocks. He locked in I believe it was an anaconda choke really early in that fight and put his opponent to sleep. And so, like, I mean, like, first of all, Durden is going to have to work for the takedowns. He's going to have to avoid the strikes. And then even if he starts getting in on him, I think he's in danger there. So, yeah, I'm going to take Ochoa here. I think his takedown defense, his submission skills, and the speed is all going to be too much for Durden.
All right. We're in on all the same winners so far, which is good because Gumby and I are usually good when we're locked in here. All right. We're going back up to bantamweight. Malcolm Wellmaker, United States. Kris Moutinho, United States as well. 3 5-minute rounds, 135. But we got all the little guys kicking off the card, which is a good thing. This is one with some crazy odds. Moutinho is 14-6, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted twice. 0-2 in the UFC. That was previously. He's making his debut this week. He's since being out of the UFC, he's won 5 straight fights, all via finish. He's gone 7-4 over his last 11. He's not lost since March 2022. He's fought at 145 and 150. He went 0-1 as a pro boxer, 0-1 as a pro grappler. During his UFC stint, he was outstruck by 10.62 strikes per minute. And it gets worse, plus 1,000 on the board for him. The machine, Wellmaker, is 9-0, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions, 1-0 in the UFC, 1-0 Contender Series, 3 straight wins via TKO. He's a racial champ. 3 inches of height, 3 inches of reach over Moutinho, 2 years younger, better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats than Moutinho. He has been outstruck, though, over the 2 fights we have stats for by 0.45 strikes per minute, minus 1,600. Gumby.
Oh, I'm so glad I get to lead this one off. Yeah, Malcolm Wellmaker. No offense to Kris Moutinho, but, like, first of all, he's just always proven that he's not particularly good against these, like, finesse strikers, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's, I mean, granted, the other one was Sean O'Malley, but he kind of got out finessed by Guido Canetti in the other fight, right? And got knocked out by Guido Canetti. Like that's not good staying power in the UFC. And then I remembered he had done pretty well since leaving the UFC, right? He went 4-0, and I was like, oh, that's incredible. And I think I even said something in Discord. People were laughing that he got re-signed. I said, well, he's looked good since he's left. He had a CES fight and a couple of Cage Titans fights or something like that. And then I think it was the very same Vanessa who said, yeah, but did you see who he fought? And I went back and I looked and I was like, oh yeah, it's like a bunch of like washed regional guys. Like he didn't fight like a high level of competition to get back in. He just got his his get me over fights to get himself back in. And Wellmaker is just a different level. I said it when he was on Contender Series. I said it after his debut. This guy is incredible on the feet. Both the way he moves and stays out of people's range and the way he hits you. The guy's the real deal. Give me Malcolm Wellmaker here.
Yep. Don't need to add anything on there. Obviously, he is a pick here. But
you see what his KO number is?
Probably not good. Probably not good enough to play.
It's like negative 400.
Yeah, still not good enough. Good on Moutinho to fight his way back into the UFC. But yeah, this is they're not doing him any favors with this here matchup. All right, before we dive into more plays, let me tell you about Underdog. It is time for Gumby's bonus Underdog pick and play. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. All right, Gumby, what do you have for the people today?
Hey, how many times have you heard me put a hockey pick in here?
Oh, never. I don't think.
You ready for this? We're going to take Sergey Bobrovsky's higher than on his saves for game 4. It's only listed at 26.5.
Yep.
That's crazy because he's gotten at least 32 in every single game in the series. So we're going to take the higher than on Bobrovsky's saves.
I just wrote an article about that. 42, 42, and 32 saves.
Yeah, and it's 26.5 is the number. Crazy.
And the Oilers lead the league in shots. So, yeah, he's going to be making lots of saves tomorrow as well. Sign up with our code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So, underdogfantasy.com with our promo code MMA SGPN. And Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean, data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Have you stumbled across anything in Power Trends recently or on that there Rhythm, Gumby?
I'm seeing a lot of things over there on Rhythm about pitchers from the White Sox. Do you know they low-key have like a pretty decent pitching staff?
Really?
Yeah. One of my my underdog picks for next week, or for next episode, you're going to hear about this little guy named Davis Martin. So, go check out what they have to say about him.
Yeah, check out Rhythm, and they can help you with your underdog plays as well. Get a 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm, RITHMM. And we are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. And you can bet not just those sports. Obviously, you can bet the UFC, all the lines we're talking about right now. You can get over at mybookie.ag. When you do head there, make sure you use our promo code MMA SGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right, 2 more fights to go on the old prelims. We got an old man fight here. 170 pounds.
I love it.
Somehow they have not fought yet. Michael I guess Chiesa was mostly lightweight up to now. I guess that's why they haven't really fought. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee at 170. I'll tell you about the Crusher, Court McGee, 22-13, 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, 11-12 in the UFC, 1-3 over his last 4, 3-6 over his last 9. He won his last bout, though, via submission. Used to fight at 185, 3-1 in the Ultimate Fighter, and the champion. This is the champ versus the champ fight. 2007 pro MMA debut. Twice more active than Chiesa in the striking department. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.01 strikes per minute, plus 280. Maverick Mike is 18-7 with 12 submissions. Knocked out once, submitted 5 times, 13-7 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight and 6 of 9. Both of his past wins have come via submission. Used to fight at 155. Missed weight before there. Now he's at 170. 4-0 in the Ultimate Fighter and the champion of his season. Regional champion as well. 2010 pro MMA debut. 2 inches height, 3 years younger than McGee. Chiesa is not younger than many opponents, but he is in this case. Better grappling stats than McGee. He's outstruck his opponents just barely by 0.15 strikes per minute, minus 345. I'm going with the big dog, Gumby. Court McGee.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm not betting.
Look at you,
Michael Chiesa, minus 345. Are you crazy? I think McGee is going to be way bigger and stronger than him. They used to fight 30 pounds apart in weight class. I think he's better on the feet.
I don't think McGee was ever really a middleweight. I think that was more of the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
You're going to have to cut weight 3 times in 20 minutes and so go up a weight class.
But better on the feet, and he's
not better on the feet.
Like
the stats.
More power. He's got more power then. How about? He's maybe not better on the feet. No, he actually outstrikes people compared to Chiesa. Yes,
but a lot of that is like hold him up against the cage and like hit some knees.
Well, that's on the feet still.
I mean it is, but he's not a better striker. I don't think. And
he hold his own on the ground. So you're taking Chiesa.
I am taking Chiesa here, and the big reason is I went back and I watched this fight with Sean Brady. And just how good he looked stuffing takedowns late in that fight from Sean Brady. And, he was piecing Sean Brady up by the end of that fight. And, like, when you think about how that loss aged, like, that is a really nice looking loss for Michael Chiesa. Because, like, at the time I was like, oh, this is Sean Brady's ceiling. Like, he's going to kind of cap out here. And then what we watched him do to Leon Edwards, like, Michael Chiesa had a better job striking with Sean Brady than Leon Edwards did. And granted, some of that is Sean Brady rather's, evolution and sort of how he's getting better. But like Chiesa was hitting him really hard in that fight and piecing him up and had better cardio than him too, and that's like maybe the best weapon for Court McGee is just like having insane cardio and shooting 700 takedowns. Does he want to be on the mat with Michael Chiesa and those submission skills? I wouldn't, I don't think he's going to win a fight on the feet. I think that's the only way he can go. And if he does start to tire, and he's 40 years old, there's a chance he'll start to tire. If he does start to tire and he shoots a sloppy takedown, I mean, Doris chokes, Anaconda chokes, that kind of stuff all day for Michael Chiesa. So I'm going to go with Chiesa here.
All right. Fair enough. To the main event of the prelims we go. Fight we already broke down a few months back. How long ago was it? It was a little while ago, actually. Paul Craig from Scotland, Rodolfo Bellato from Brazil, 3 5-minute rounds, 2:05. I'll tell you about the Bear Jew first, Paul Craig. It's just Bear Jew. 17-9-1, 4 knockouts.
Does that make it better?
I don't know. Is he ever going to explain it? Like maybe his retirement fight? He'll tell everyone.
I don't think we'll ever hear.
4 knockouts, 13 submissions. So he's finished everyone that he's beaten. He's got knocked out. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted twice. He owes his rounds. 9-9-1 in the UFC. He's lost 3 straight and got 1-5 over his last 6. He's fed at 185. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Finally, I get to say it. Go to our store, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get our merch. 2013 Pro MMA debut. He's a grappling champion. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.51 strikes per minute. He's at plus 310. Traitor, because everyone loves the tractors in Brazil, is 12-2-1, 7 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. He owes his rounds as well. 1-0-1 in the UFC, 4-0-1 over his last 5. He got a draw in his last bout. He's not lost since September 2022. 1-1 on Contender Series. Who beat him, Gumby? You may not remember who he beat, but who beat him?
Vitor Petrino.
There you go. Regional champion. Used to fight at 185. An inch of reach over Craig, 9 years younger. Better striking stats, twice more active landing strikes. He's been outstruck just barely by 0.03 strikes per minute for the 4 fights we have stats for, minus 350. I think the line's a little higher than last time.
It is a little higher than last time, but here's my problem, and I said it last time too in terms of this fight. So I like Paul Craig. I've always enjoyed watching Paul Craig fight. Actually, a fun interview to have. I've interviewed him a couple of times too. He was having trouble getting people to the mat at middleweight. Mm-hmm. You're going to send him up a weight class against the guy with 100% takedown defense and who has never been submitted in his life. Like, I mean, suicide, right? Like it's a terrible matchup for him. You know, it's just like a bigger, stronger guy with tons of punching power who, I mean, is maybe smarter than the only guy to beat him, right? Vitor Petrino beat him twice, but like he's not dumb enough to go to the ground with Paul Craig the way that Petrino was dumb enough to go to the ground with Anthony Smith. So, you know, like he's got the better fight IQ, bigger, stronger, hits like a truck, or maybe hits like a tractor. I'll take Bellato in this one.
Yep. I second all of that. Obviously, there's not really much to say here. Craig is on his way out, and he's a grappler, and he's going to get pieced up by a younger guy who can actually do more than grapple. He can grapple and you can strike. So sad to say it, but them's the breaks. We both have Bellato. He has Chiesa, McGee. Then it's a team ride. Wellmaker, Ochoa, Simón, Rowe, Horth. All right, you're set for the prelim portion. You can chat with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpockets.com/Discord. You can chat with us on our YouTube channel, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, please and thanks. Chat with us on the old Twitter, X, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Go to my Substack, enter my free UFC Pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gumby's other podcast. I checked it out today already, so I knew some of his picks in advance. It's called Top Turtle MMA. Tell the people who is on that show this week.
We're chatting with Tommy Kuwosi, who's going to be on the Contender Series in late summer, as well as Jimmy Drago, who is going to be on Contender Series as well.
Both good interviews. Jimmy Drago sounds like
Drago. It's Drago. It's very important to him. We talked about it. It's very important to him that it's Drago. He actually, this is a funny story. He told me afterwards he got sick of correcting people that it's not Drago and just gave up on telling people. And he's like, nah, I'm in the big time now. It's time to start correcting them again.
He sounds like someone named Drago. He's very good stories from him from both guys. So check out Top Turtle, and of course, you can check out all their style, all their work, all their podcasts, all their giveaways, all the good stuff at sportsgamblingpockets.com. Get our merch at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get bonus content at sportsgamblingpockets.com/Patreon. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Tractor, Jeff Fox, custom made Gumby Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.